been fantastic, really. I mean, I think there's a lot of pessimism around this European Championships, especially the injuries that hit the team and the poor results in the build-up, and then obviously all the scandal with the betting revelations as well. There's a great deal of pessimism, and really they've turned it on its head. I mean, they're getting record crowds watching the games on television. People are turning out in the streets, and it's really been a fantastic turnaround. It was, I think there were signs there at the start in the very opening game against Spain that they were going to try to play some football and approach matches a little differently from the past, and actually go out and try to impose their style of play. They had a scare against Croatia, I suppose, and they weren't all that convincing against Ireland. But then suddenly, when the games really mattered, I think they stepped it up a bit. I mean, against England, I don't think I've really seen a more one-sided 0-0 draw. Penalties only really did justice to the Italian side, and then obviously against Germany in the semi-finals, an outstanding performance. Balotelli suddenly came on fire, and everything clicked, and it's given them every chance of winning a championship that few people thought they would at the outset. They were, for Italy, they were amongst the outsiders of the tournament, really, and not many people were picking them to go very far at all. I'm glad to see that. I thought they would go reasonably far, but they've exceeded even my most optimistic expectations. That's cruel. You can't do that. That's not fair. If I was going beyond Pirlo, I mean, I think still, I would probably still go in the midfield, although he's also played in defence. I'd say Daniele De Rossi has been an absolute rock for the team during this tournament. Balotelli's stolen the headlines in the last game with his goals. Cassano's improved game on game. The defence has been very impressive, built around that sort of Juventus core. But if you wanted to take a man who's really come of age and shown a lot of maturity in the tournament, as I say, you strip me of Pirlo, who's been absolutely outstanding. But, only one step down the ladder, if down the ladder, I'd put De Rossi. That first game he was asked to play in the centre of defence. I know he's done it for Roma previously, but, it's nonetheless, he was absolutely outstanding there, running the defence, and since then, back in the more familiar surroundings in midfield. I think if Pirlo plays well, there's usually a reason that he plays well, in the sense that, at Juventus he's got Marquinhos and Vidal helping to sort of protect his back, if you will, and De Rossi's been an ideal shield for him, and I don't think, one without the other wouldn't be quite the same combination. So, I think if I was picking out a player consistently through all the games, there's people who've come in and out and given a big contribution, but the heart of that midfield's been important, and if you're going to go out and try to impose your play on people, you need a ball winner as well as somebody that can spread the passes, and that's the role De Rossi fills. And he's a very committed and tough player, and he's taken out, hopefully, the rough edges maybe that there were at the start. We think back to his elbow at the World Cup. There were some less savoury sides to his game. He's kind of fine-tuned himself into a pretty complete midfielder. Well, I mean, what he's done, I think, above all else, is tried to get them to enjoy their football. It's not always the case in Italy. Sometimes, especially out in the field, the players look dreadfully serious, and the sort of demands of the professional game seem to weigh them down with the responsibility. But what Prandelli's really said to them is, let's remember, boys, this is a game. We should go out and enjoy it. We're getting paid a lot of money to play, to kick a ball around. And I think he's taken a bit of the pressure, a bit of the heat off them in that way. And I just encourage them to go out and enjoy their football and express themselves. And I think you've seen the results. He's been smart as well. He's been astute because I think some people some managers can be stuck in a certain tactical formation and they can't adapt. Whereas he does prefer the sort of the 4-3-1-2 that he played with Fiorentina as well. That's his preferred formation, I think. But he was smart enough in the opening game to go 3-5-2, and it worked against Spain. So he's not a slave to formation. He seems to be getting the best out of Balotelli, which is a job that's proved difficult for every manager he's had. And it just seems to have put the smile back on the face of Italian football. As I say, in terms of a lot of bad things being said about Calcio before the tournament for a variety of reasons, but he's managed to bring a bit of pride back to Italy by producing a football that, as I say, it's a real sea change for the Italian game. Instead of sitting really and waiting for the opposition to come to you and hit them on the break, they've gone out and tried to make the play. The only criticism, I think, it would be the same as used to be levelled at his Fiorentina team, that they maybe don't kill off teams when the opportunity's there, when they've got the upper hand. They don't they don't deliver the killer blow. Even against Germany, impressive as they were 2-0 up and with a string of chances to make it 3 that they missed, and that was very un-Italian, if you will. But the other part is you hope that he finally gets what he never did with Fiorentina, a trophy to show for all his good work. That would be, I think that would be a fitting way. I know there's all sorts of talk, will he stay after the tournament, or he honour his contract up to the World Cup. I don't know what the future holds, but he was a great servant to Fiorentina. A lot of people very sad when he left. But his greatest regret there was never being able to lift a trophy with them. So how nice it would be. The man's had a lot of heartache in his own personal life, his wife passing away, etc. It'd be a fitting finale for this tournament if he was able to lift a trophy. I think they will go to play their game. I think that's the thing we can say with a fair degree of certainty, that they will go to try to play their football. And that, it's not always been the time. They're coming up against a very strong side, a side that gives you, strangles the life out of you, really. It doesn't let you see possession. So if you do get chances, you're going to have to take them. There's no wastefulness will be allowed against Spain, because you can't allow yourself to pass up the few chances you get. But I think they showed in the opening game that they're willing to stand toe-to-toe. They won't park the bus, as they say, and just sit in and defend. Spain will have most of the possession, you would imagine. But I actually think, a lot of people think it'll be a blow or draw, but I actually think that there's the possibility of quite a few goals in the final, because Italy will be more expansive than they have been in the past, because Spain have got the elements to hurt you as well, even though they don't play with a striker. They've got so much quality across the midfield that there's a chance of somebody breaking through there. I could see it being quite high scoring, but with the hope Italy might just edge it.